Hello and welcome to Around the Wickets here on ThePapare.com, your weekly dose of everything cricket in Sri Lanka. Well, some are calling it a tri-series, Sri Lanka, England and the rain. I got Farveez Maharoof alongside me. Farveez, can be frustrating as a player. You've been in those dressing rooms and when it's raining all day, you're not sure whether you're going to get a game or not. Must be really mentally challenging and frustrating.
Yeah, definitely, especially the yesterday's game now. How many times players came out, warmed up, and it rained again. And it can get frustrated, but overall, what you want to do as a professional, you just want to get out there and play. So, I mean, we are lucky enough to get a 21 nose. I mean, the real man of the match yesterday was the groundsman.
Absolutely.
I mean, there are about 150 odd groundsmen worked, and I thought they did a fantastic job to get a game in.
Absolutely. I mean, the folks in Kandy must be thankful that they at least got to witness a game. Farveez, sadly, there was some cricket played at least, but unfortunately for Sri Lanka, both of them, Sri Lanka being on the losing side. I mean, we can point out a number of things that went wrong. I mean, we know fielding has been a concern even in the second ODI. Okay, yesterday's, third ODI, it was all right. We could say it was much better. But what do you think? I mean, could you point a finger somewhere and say, listen, this is what's going wrong? Because I thought we bowled much better in the second ODI. Malinga back to his best with his 5-4. But then I thought, once again was a batting lineup that really let us down, the top order especially.
I mean, if you take one by one, I think when it comes to batting, I mean, yesterday was the perfect opportunity to put runs on the board. We got a brilliant start, 5 overs for 55, just losing 1 wicket. And the rest 16 overs, he managed to score only 95 runs. So that's where the downfall with losing 8 wickets. I thought in the batting, when the top order clicks, the middle order fails. And when the top order fails, the middle order fails as well. As simple as that. There's no consistency when it comes to batting lineup. You just need someone has to put their hand up and just bat out. Just bat 40, 45 overs and get the ThePapare and the Sunsanaka play their own game. Now, yesterday's was a different case because just 21 over game. But previously, there was too much to do for the middle order batsmen, and especially when you're playing 2 all-rounders in the middle. They're renowned for their free hitting and they can't play their own game because the top order keeps failing. So simple as that, you need to get runs. And when it comes to bowling, second ODI, I mean, Lasith Malinga, fantastic, bowling well, 5 wickets. I mean, he's back to his best, but yesterday, unfortunately, he couldn't do much, and he was trying to take wickets. That's where it was down. He was down for. And our second trump card, Akila Dhananjaya, has been a bit disappointing for me.
Absolutely.
Last 2 games, he hasn't bowled that well for me, and he's trying to look to take wickets rather than try to bowl good containing deliveries just to keep the batsman quiet. But because batsman knows, there is a loose ball coming every over.
Absolutely.
So you cannot do that being the top spinner in the team.
Absolutely.
So Akila Dhananjaya and Lasith Malinga are 2 trump cards to take wickets. So that 20 overs are very key. And when they don't provide breakthroughs like yesterday, we are going to struggle. But overall, the fielding, the second ODI, a bit disappointing. Few I think 1 drop chance and few errors in the field that costed us many runs. I mean, just not on. I think overall, when fielding for the last couple of years, I've told several times in this show that it has to have more consistency.
Absolutely.
So that's where we are lacking consistency in batting, consistent fielding, consistent bowling. Consistent is the word when it comes to ours. And I mean, people will agree with me when you're watching on TV. We are not competitive enough to play against the #1 team. I mean, they are fully packed, fully all-round team. I mean, you get Alex Hales, you get people like Liam Plunkett can't get a place in the team. So we are playing a #1 team. And do we compete enough? I don't think so.
In fact, I was going to get to that because on the other extreme, you have a team, the opposition, that is a power-packed team. They bat deep down. I mean, you've got individuals in there who can change a game on its head, whenever they need it. Is it really the opposition being better than Sri Lanka, or are we really not matching them skill to skill?
I think a bit of both. I think England is correctly the #1 team in the world. They are covered everything. They got 2 fast bowlers who are bowling at 140, and they got another fast bowler in Tom Curran mixing his pace. And they got 2 world-class spinners in Moeen Ali and Adil Rashid, and top order batting, one of the best in the world. And you get Alex Hales, one of my favorite batsmen, can't find a place in the team. And do we play to our potential? I don't think so.
Absolutely.
Definitely we don't. That's why we are lying in the 8th in the ICC rankings. No wonder we are so far behind because we haven't played to our potential, and I don't think we haven't got the team combination right as well.
Okay.
So those are little factors that we need to brush up before the World Cup. I know World Cup is another 14 1 days away, but still this is not the time to experiment too much. You just need a solid base where players know what their role is going to be. So that whether we have that, I have my doubts. So we have a lot of thinking to do and a lot of planning to do. I mean, sooner we do, better it's going to be.
Well, I mean, that's what we keep coming back to, don't we? I mean, we have the skill set, we have the talent in the team, just about getting the temperament right to begin with, making those wise decisions in the field, and obviously getting the combinations right, that Farveez very rightly pointed out. Does the weather play any part in the temperament of the players? They go out there, you know, it was supposed to be an ODI game, so you have your mindset that I'm going to go in there, settle myself, and then suddenly you have a 21-over game. Does that play any part, Farveez, or you're professional enough to cope with that?
Back of the mind, it will play a part. But that's where your professionalism comes in.
Yes.
You're a professional athlete that you have to do whatever asked to do at any moment. So I don't give that reason or the excuse for anyone.
Absolutely.
But when it comes to second one day, we bowled first thinking that, you know, that was will play a part.
Yes.
So we chased, and correctly the rain came down. Yes. But what happened was, you know, we lost 3 wickets in the first 10 overs, or 4 wickets in the first 10 overs. So when we are chasing a score, when we are playing, we know that weather is going to come, and you have to play 20 overs to get a result. And you know, losing 4 wickets doesn't help your cause.
Absolutely.
So that's where we lost the first game. But yesterday was a very bold call by Chandimal, batting first, because I knew England is going to chase, because the ball is going to get even wet in the latter part, because the dew is going to come down. But we were positive enough to say that, you know, we are going to put runs on the board, and our strength is bowling. And we did it correctly, but where we lost the game was after the 5th over. So from 6th over to 21st over, only 95 runs and lost 8 wickets. You cannot do that. And correctly, I saw one of Dikwala's interview yesterday. He said 150 is not a good score to defend at Pallakela, which is correct, because it's one of the best wickets, and the outfield is lightning quick.
Especially after all the rain yesterday.
Absolutely. I mean, 150 isn't the winning score. So, I mean, blame to the batsmen for sure, but bowlers did their part. They bowled well, but the conditions were against it. You know, we saw Lasith Malinga was struggling to control the wet ball. So all in all, everything goes up against us, because our luck is not favouring us, because we are not playing well. Simple as that. Once you start playing well, luck will play. But a simple example, Dikwala, after a while, he played some shots. First delivery, he got a narrow escape. Since then, he had the luck, and he was going after it. So whoever gets the luck will not come just like that. You just have to work hard for it.
The ball, don't they?
Absolutely. So
you have to be bold out there.
I mean, yesterday we had a bold call, winning the toss and batting, but whether we backed it up, I don't think so.
Yes. Okay, so right, second and third ODI unfortunately lost for Sri Lanka. My last question on those 2 matches: Adil Rashid bowled brilliantly yesterday, but I thought it was more about poor shot selection from our batsmen than better quality spin bowling. Would you agree with me on that?
Yeah, some shots were a bit disappointing.
ThePapare, especially first ball.
First delivery. I mean, you know, senior player like him could have stayed a little bit longer, because there were about 6 overs after that Adil Rashid delivery. Could have done better. But Adil Rashid, for me, a wrist spinner in any team is gold. I mean, we saw some deliveries. You know, he was spinning up past. I mean, he's been fantastic bowling well for the last few years or so. So they are a trump card, and they are using him wisely. Absolutely. And even in the last 3 overs, when Dasun Chanaka, you know, going after him, he got him out too. So he has the confidence. That's where England stands. They are a confident team, and Owen Morgan as a captain knows whoever he gives the ball will do the job. So that's where the 2 teams stands for me.
Like we said, I mean, individuals in the team, if they have the right mindset, they can change the game around for their team, right? Staying with the topic of T20, I mean, we had a T20, almost a T20 instead of a 50-over game with the third ODI. Speaking of T20s, our women's team is all set to travel to the West Indies for the Women's T20 World Cup, the ICC World Cup, and the team has been announced, and the important thing is that we've been placed in a very tough group. We've got the world champions England in our group, with the Women's T20 champions West Indies, and of course the Asian Women's T20 champions Bangladesh, and don't forget there's also South Africa. So Sri Lanka, England, West Indies, Bangladesh and South Africa in one group. Sri Lanka's squad was obviously announced, Chamri Athapaththu being the captain. She obviously is remembered for that wonderful knock that she played. Yashoda Mendes, Hasini Pereira, Rebecca Vandot being the wicketkeeper, Dilani Manodara, Oshadi Ranasinghe, Shashikala Sirivardhana, Ama Kanchana, Ishani Lokusuriage, Nilakshidi Silva, Kavisha Dilhari, Sugandhika Kumari, Udeshika Prabodhini, Inoshi Priyadarshini, Sripali Virakodi, and of course that will be the team that will be traveling to the West Indies. The fixtures, we will be playing against England women the 10th of November. Matches are late night, so those of you who are crazy cricket fans, if you have it in you to wake up at 1:30 in the morning to be able to watch that game. So most matches start very early in the morning. Farveez, what are you seeing as our chances for the women's team in the World Cup?
I think we are in a tough group. I mean, let's be honest. But what I saw from the last series against India, you know, I saw some good spirit and good fight back against a strong Indian team. I mean, Coach Harshadi Silva has worked wonders with the team within a series. So I think overall our chances are pretty good, I would say. I mean, when it comes to World Cup, it's one game at a time.
Absolutely.
I mean, World Cups are where you can upset big teams. So if hopefully our women has a good day, Chamari Atapattu scores, we can surprise few people.
So that's one lady you all want to watch batting. She's stylish. Some people say she replicates Sangakkara in the way she bats. So yes, all power to the women. Let's go out there and do the best we can. So that's as far as women's cricket is concerned. We move on to mercantile cricket, which is making a lot of noise these days. Farveez, LB Finance have won the A Division League title. They've won 8 out of their 9 matches. That must be a strong outing for them.
Absolutely. I mean, LB Finance, even last year they had a good team. I mean, they surprisingly for me, they won the championship this year. I mean, personally, I've been playing mercantile cricket for the last 13 years or so now. I mean, it's one of the most competitive domestic cricket tournament in Sri Lanka. I would say stronger than the inter-club tournament, but lesser than the inter-provincial tournament. It's in the middle because you get all the top players playing in it, and the teams are very competitive. Because you need to keep the job as well. I mean, that's the hindsight. Then you have to perform well to keep the job. So boys have to perform. Who's ever playing in the national team or these A team levels or the domestic levels. So the competitiveness is really up there. I mean, few of the teams, if you look at this year, it's very strong. And even LB Finance as a young team, good team, but so for me, they surprised a lot of winning 8 games out of 9 when the last game was a washout. So that means they are unbeaten. They have won everything, and the knockout tournament is going to start soon, and the 2020. It's going to be. It's one of the most competitive tournaments. I've been saying it for a long time, and even that will only get even competitive in future.
Farveez mentioned mercantile cricket is getting very competitive. So perhaps the selectors should be broadening their horizon a little bit, looking at other tournaments as well. I mean, you never know. You have guys like unorthodox players like Malinga. We had Muthaiya Muralidharan, one of the most famous unorthodox cricketers in the history. Perhaps the selectors could unearth some sort of a gem from these kind of tournaments, Farveez.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they must be keeping one eye on the tournament. I mean, for example, now they want a few players to play in the mercantile tournament to get the match practice for them to get to the national team. So that happens. So they have an eye on them. But do they really consider seriously the performance? That question I like to ask them, because there are so many good performers who haven't got the chance yet. But maybe that's they must be in the players must be in the in the limelight, in the pool and whatever. But overall, they don't look at it as they say inter-provincial tournament or inter-club tournament. But for me, it's one, as I said, the second most competitive tournament after the inter-provincial tournament.
Great. I mean, so there you go. Those of you who are involved in mercantile cricket, well, keep your eyes open. You never know what opportunity might come up. Let me go back quickly to the Sri Lanka-England series. I mean, 4th and 5th ODI, 2 important matches. Sri Lanka have to win to stay alive in the tournament, at least draw it. Farveez, there's many things we can say that can be done right. Tell me in as few words as possible what Sri Lanka can do to turn things around immediately.
I think we should score runs. Simple as that. The batsmen have to score runs. They have to put runs on the board. Now, for me, we are good at defending the tournament score because we have a decent bowling lineup.
Absolutely.
And when it comes to batting, without Angelo Matthews in the middle, there's no one to finish the innings off. So that's where my concern is. But whoever gets this opportunity, can be Dasun Chanaka, can be Dhananjay Silva. They should put their hands up and get that opportunity going.
And for them to perform, the top order needs to provide that cushion.
I mean, they need to. I mean, the 2 or 3 top orders should get that cushion to them. And also, when it comes to bowling, even now, Amila Ponsu came yesterday for in place of Sandakan, and straight away he did well. So Sandakan is under pressure for the next game.
Absolutely.
So bowling, when it comes to bowling, the competitiveness is there. I can see that. But when it comes to batting, if we score runs, if we put runs on the board, especially in Kandy, in a day game, I think we'll have a chance. But overall, we just have to be competitive. Simple as that. Whether we are being competitive, that's a question mark. I have. I mean, we are playing the #1 team. We have to be at our very best. So at the moment they are not, and hopefully these 2 days will regroup them and get something going, and we'll see a different team on Saturday.
One can only hope that the fans have something to rejoice about in the coming 2 ODIs. Speaking of playing England, well, our question for the week on this show is, in which stadium did Sri Lanka last beat England in an ODI? I know winning itself has become a distant memory for Sri Lankan cricket, but this is the question we're asking you this week. In which stadium did Sri Lanka last beat England in a one-day international? Last week we asked the question, against whom did the current captain Dinesh Chandimal score his highest ODI score? I'll repeat the question for you. Against which team did Dinesh Chandimal score his highest ODI score? And the answer is obviously India when they won a tour of Zimbabwe. Chandimal scored 111 runs in his second ODI against India at Harare in 2010. This is still, by the way, his highest ODI score. The last week's winner is Disha Dhananjani from Hikkadua. Congratulations, Disha, on getting the runs right. So this week's question, reminding you again, in which stadium did Sri Lanka last beat England in ODI? Make sure you put in your answer as a comment on the Facebook page, not on the YouTube page, on the Facebook video of this particular segment of Around the Wickets that is uploaded. So I guess that's it for this week. Farveez, once again, thank you very much for your wonderful insight into what's happening in Sri Lanka cricket. We will see you again next week with a new dose of everything cricket in Sri Lanka. Until then, it's goodbye from all of us at ThePapare.com.